Hey guys, NosignX here. So this is episode 1 of the PC Homies podcast, and today I have Clockwork, one of my friends here today, and we're going to talk about Destiny and this shit show of a season.
Oh God, yeah, the lovely
So,
one.
so we're not trying to trash on Bungie. We all love Bungie, and we are thankful for Destiny, but like this season is a shit show. So.
Yeah.
And if you haven't noticed the title yet, it's his Destiny player base dying. And I would say kind of yes and no.
I would say definitely.
Okay.
Well, I would say definitely because at least on console, like I constantly was playing it all the time, and we would maybe not all the time, but we would be playing it enough times that it would be once, twice, 3 days a week. We'd be on it for most of the day, and now even when the only reason I ever turn on my Xbox at this point is my raid group's on console, and no one wants to raid anymore. Like, no one touches the game. Several of my friends have uninstalled it. They said they're never going to touch the game again. They have zero interest for it. It's
So
yeah.
so before we start with the rest of the podcast, the plans for this podcast is just basically gaming news, and if you guys have any like ideas or recommendations, just put in the comments below or just join the Discord server that I will link in the description. So I played Destiny 1 since its release date. I have taken breaks here and there, so I never actually finished the last like DLC of Destiny 1 as my account got hacked, but I heard it was pretty good. And
Uh,
then
I've
what was yours?
I've played since release. One of our friends decided they were gonna pre-order, and I didn't get into pre-orders at the time. So we bought it, played the absolute crap out of it, beat the game, had fun. We didn't get into raids till I want to say after Queen's Wrath. Was that the
Uh um I know
what's
there was some House of Wolves, the Crota
yeah,
one.
House of
Taken
Wolves.
King.
That,
Taken
that's
King.
that's well, it was
It
we
was
uh after we beat the game and after we completed it, I stopped playing it because the two people I was playing with kind of found another group to play with, and then for a while I didn't touch it until finally they're like, "Oh yeah, Clockwork, let's pull him in and let's go play with him." And that's how I actually got to do Destiny raids. So I did a lot of raids, um, like every Tuesday. Everyone was like, "All right, raid time." We went and did some raids. Taking King was super fun.
yeah.
That I still think that might be one of the best expansions ever for Destiny.
So I stopped at Taken King. I never played Rise of Iron. And
Rise of
then
Iron, ooh, Rise of Iron was definitely fun.
mhm.
The raid was you missed out.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
know.
raid,
I've seen some gameplay, and a lot of you said I missed out, and yes, I did. I just didn't
yeah,
want to spend $80 or whatever again
and
on the
then
other
have to
DLC.
completely
Yeah,
restart. Yeah, it was. I was super excited for it. Everyone was. The Plaguelands. You know how it like connected to the
Siva.
Cosmodrome, right?
Yeah,
I,
Siva.
I thought I thought having the Cosmodrome be connected to it was actually probably one of my favorite parts. For some reason, I couldn't tell you why. I loved it. Um, but yeah, D1 was it will even with all of its problems, I loved it.
And some like streamers and like some of the more popular YouTubers are actually going back to D1 to replay it, which is really
I want
surprising.
I have wanted to get people together on console and go from Vault of Glass and just see like one day in the middle of summer, go from Vault of Glass all the way to what's the most recent one?
Um, the Garden Salvation.
Yeah, Garden of Salvation. I wanted that. I just want to like have a group of people with me to barrel through every single one, and no one's down to do it. And I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I
especially
have
the player
done.
base.
There are 2 raids in Destiny 2 I haven't even done because no one wants to do them. I haven't done Crown of Sorrow, and I haven't done Uh, it's one of the
What?
Leviathan ones.
Leviathan. I count Leviathan and its other like two parts as one raid, like Spires of the Stars or whatever, and
Uh, I never did Spires.
I never done Spires. I done Leviathan. That's about it. Literally, I don't have a raid group, and I've just felt like it's too like more complex than Destiny 1's raid. Like I played a lot of raids in D1, and my favorite is Vault Glass. I just don't know. Destiny 2
Well,
raids are just not my thing anymore.
I think it's I don't know. I will say my favorite D2 raid has got I Last Wish is fun. Last Wish is very fun. What I like more is gosh, I can't remember raids because I haven't done them in haven't done them in so long. I haven't been really paying attention to them. It's the one on Earth.
uh
The one with the
oh
black armory.
yeah, I forgot what that's called. I don't even I forgot
God.
I completely forgot about that one. Let me think of it real quick. But so yeah, I started playing D2 when it came out on Xbox.
Scourge of the Past. That's what's called.
Yeah, okay, Scourge Pass. So I started playing D2 when it came out, and then I beat the game, but I didn't bother buying the two DLCs. And then I heard Battle.net was giving Destiny for free, so I played on there for a while. And then I bought it Forsaken, like the bundle on PS4, played the shit out of that. And then I heard Destiny was coming to Steam, so I linked everything on to Steam. So now I play on PC.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I pre-ordered Destiny 2. We had about 10 plus people on the night of release. Like we had a huge Xbox Live party. We had loads of people just so excited to get into it. And uh, putting the starting story mission in the beta probably wasn't the best idea. I think they should have done another mission. I don't think they should have done the main story mission, the first story mission you're gonna do. Uh Definitely was excited for it, and man, did that flame burn out quick.
Huh?
We tried the raid, and that's when we started wanting to do raids, learning on our own. And we went to do D2's first raid when it dropped. And man, we kind of were figuring out what to do. We got past, we like had a total of 12 people separated in two groups. And I was in one group, some good players in that group, but most of the good players out of those 12 were in the other raid. And they figured out how to do the first one, told us how to do it because they saw we were struggling. And then we gave up around the I don't remember what the name of the encounter is called.
I struggle on Baths a lot, but
Bats actually isn't that bad.
Baths and Gauntlet were the two ones I struggle on.
Those two I feel are the easiest. I think it's the one that's supposed to or that
Dogs.
tries to pull the
Dogs also was pretty
sneaking.
hard.
Dogs is not fun. I have
Dogs too.
never in the 3 years I've never had fun with it. The dogs encounter has been my least favorite encounter in any Destiny raid. I think it's downright just awful.
It's worse than the Vault of Glass, the Gorgon's maze. Like the
The
Gorgon maze,
but
you easily.
you were just passing through the Gorgons.
Yeah.
It's if it was something like that, it would be fun. But with how it's structured, it's not nearly as fun. But yeah, I played it a lot, had that burnout quick, then got one after Warmind came out, I bought Warmind and Curse of Osiris. Went slowly caught up and slugged through catching up with those. And to tell you how long it took me to fully complete Curse of Osiris, I'm pretty sure I think this March or not March. It would have been like March or February. I finally completed the last lockbox lockbox quest for the Curse of Osiris weapons.
I've saw my third one. Like
I
didn't
just
bother.
now finished them, and I was like, what? But I understand why everyone disliked Curse of Osiris, and I'm not saying that Curse of Osiris or Warmind was top tier. They weren't. They could have been so much better, especially compared to D1's first 2 expansions.
Also
Those were
was
small
my favorite.
expansions were so much more fun. Um, anyway, once so I haven't even had this PC for a year, and shortly after I built it, they announced that Destiny 2 is coming to Steam. So I said, "Awesome! I'm just gonna wait till it comes to Steam, buy it on Steam, transfer everything over, and then I'll just play it on my computer." And I can't say, I mean, going from 60 frames to 140 is really nice. Really, really nice. Other than that, though, Destiny, I now can only play on Destiny on PC, but that's just naturally liking mouse and keyboard more than controller now.
If Destiny 1 was remastered on PC, would you buy it? I would
Oh,
totally buy it.
100%. 100%.
I feel like that should be like one of the moves
The
Bungie should
the
make then.
problem with it is that I'd rather them there's a lot of games I would like remastered. Black Ops 2, Halo Reach kind of got a remaster and I was excited for. But those have their own single player stories and multiplayer being separate. I wouldn't want Destiny being remastered. I'd rather them leave Sleeping Dogs to Lie and move on to making Destiny 2 better. Making
Yeah,
Destiny 3 if that's what they feel. I wouldn't want a remaster of Destiny 1 because I want those memories not to be tainted by some of the actions that they can take that a lot of remasters take, of where they just ruin or make the game to make changes to the game that make it overall worse.
to go
I
ki- to go kind
Go
of
ahead.
off topic. If you guys played Resident Evil, they did Resident the most recent remastered I think was 3, and I heard that they cut out a lot of stuff from the original game. They did pretty well on 2, I would give you that, but if games are
It's
gonna remaster, they should not do
That's like
like get rid of like original content from the
with
original game.
Black Ops 2, even if they were to remaster it and make it to where you have to completely restart your multiplayer progression, I would enjoy that. I don't think it would work with Destiny. I really don't. Because of Destiny 2 is like in a way, because it's an expansion of its story, you would be going backwards. Whereas with Call of Duty, it's different because it's a linear single player story. Which sure, Destiny's linear, but it's still you know the differences. Where
Yeah,
it seems like it would work a lot less. Um, but yeah, with it moving to, if it were to be remastered, would I buy it? Probably. I
I
love
would.
Destiny 1.
I don't know if it's worth the $60 if it's
Oh,
not
I
good, but
any remaster. Once it's remastered, it should be 40 at most.
yeah. But we'll see what Bungie goes with.
Yeah.
And to be on the same topic, since we were talking about it moving to Steam, apparently they moved to Steam was the main reason was of DDoSing in on BattleNet, and
Yes,
that comes
that's
with the
what I've heard
question
too.
is how why is there no DDoSing like Overwatch or Call of Duty as like a major problem too? Why just Destiny?
I specifically couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
I
I don't
I
know
don't
either,
dabble in it either. What
but
I can say is, I don't know how bad hacking was on BattleNet, or not BattleNet. Where the Was it BattleNet?
yeah, it's BattleNet.
It was BattleNet. Okay.
BattleNet and then move over to Steam.
I don't know how bad it was on there, but especially you can see a difference. It's been rampant. I mean, have you? I'm assuming a lot of people that are going to be watching this, they had to have seen on on Bungie's like forum page on their website, there were hundreds of people advertising trials carry from a
Re-
hacker.
recoveries.
Not even recoveries.
We'll go
It
into
was
trials later, but recoveries is also
well,
another main
but
problem.
it was rampant. I mean, it was hundreds. You could scroll and scroll and scroll, and you just keep seeing carries from hackers, this from a hacker, this from and it's I will never understand what is the fun of hacking, but that's me.
So before we move on to the season, I just want to talk about the season pass. I think I like how Bungie's doing their season pass. Like
Oh yeah,
players are still getting some content from the game, not excluding it. So that's good. It's not like the Black Armory and those expansions where
yeah.
you had to pay to actually play some of the content. I think that's where sometimes Destiny died down as
I
like
feel like
it's
they
just money
definitely
grab.
I feel like they definitely could do more to incentivize buying the pass. Uh adding uh doing maybe more like making more than one design for finishers.
Yeah,
Doing 2 emotes, making a ship, 2 ships, and a sparrow. So, like, stop putting just resources. Make more lasting items. Make more ships. I feel like it's definitely a step in the right direction, especially with them removing the ability to buy engrams. You're gonna incentivize people to go after that pass more. And I feel like overall, it's definitely a better monetization scheme for them and for the player base. It looks better on them, and the player base can at least some from what I'm feeling, I feel like I've gotten more out of it than if
yeah.
I keep buying engrams.
I think I agree with that, but that also talks about Eververse and it.
Eververse
Yeah,
is
the
I am
bright engrams.
I will never the bright engrams, I'm glad engram buying is gone. If you want to I feel like they overprice, and I feel like every game does this. Overprice $10 for an in-game ship that I'm going to use for 2 weeks and then buy another one.
Yeah, I was.
It's
It's like in almost
you're
every game now, especially
I feel
Siege.
like they overprice them. Oh god,
Siege.
let's not talk about that. But I feel like buying cosmetics with real world money, I that's no problem. You want to do that? Do that. I do it. I feel like as long as I know what I'm buying for, or know what I'm buying, there shouldn't. I don't care if you want to spend $20 on 2 outfits for your hunter and titan. Go for it. That's by all means, you're exactly allowed to do that. But when you're spending $10 for a ship, $15 for one outfit, that's when it's a little ridiculous. I feel like, well, especially, I think it was this season where the Universal Hunter Titan and Warlock ornaments were actually like pretty decent looking for all classes.
Yeah,
It, but $15 per each one or around that, that's great. That's a little $10. Maybe I'd not have and I mean, I'm the problem too. I bought at least 2 of the 3 outfits. I don't think I bought the Titan one. Um, but it's so overpriced. I think it's very overpriced and ridiculously so. 5 even if it was $5 less at $10, I think I'd be okay with it. But with $15 per one, that's insane.
so Eververse has a store. Like, I agree with it being overpriced, but I like how Bungie made that each week it sells a different ornament of that um armor set. So I think this week it was selling the arms, and I really like the hunter arms from the ornament, so I bought that to Bright Dust. But I just feel like Bright Dust is just another currency that we don't need in the game.
I
And
feel like
didn't they take away the bounties from that too? If I remember, because I can't
I
find the bounties
I
anymore.
get why they wanted to yeah, I think they got rid of it too. The Bright Dust currency, I think I'm okay with, but at the same time, it feels like you stack it up and then you're like, "Hey, I have a lot," and then lose it to one purchase, and you're like, "Oh, that wasn't a lot. I thought 8,000 accumulated over a year would have been good, but never mind."
That's worth like maybe 2 weapon, 3 weapon ornaments, and then
Two
that's
weapon
an.
ornaments and a ship, maybe at best.
That's
Which I
like
mean, don't
my.
get me wrong, is still pretty decent, but I feel like things are even overpriced in that. it really seems like they're trying to get you to either buy it or spend 10 extra hours in the game grinding it so then you just feel better buying it when you're bored after 2 hours.
So the season pass kind of help with that, as I would say. I don't know about the first season of the season pass ornaments, but the last two seasons, I think, including this one, is I
I
think
like
it's pretty good.
this season's ornaments feel kind of underwhelming. Like they
Like,
have a specific theme,
yeah, they're decent. I would give it that.
but yeah, I the last two seasonal ornaments I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I like the last season ornament, like the glow it gives. That's pretty
Oh
nice
yeah.
on their part. I didn't get it because I didn't. I
It
don't know if I mentioned this, but I took a break of Destiny like halfway between last season and started halfway through this season because I got tired of the grinding. Like there weren't really much to do except was it the obelisk I think that we had to do last season.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
Obelisk I
wasn't
feel like
really a
runs
story.
into with Menagerie, there's enough different game mode or not game modes, but I'm just gonna say events. There's enough events in Menagerie that can make you play it 6 times in a row and each time feel decently unique.
And it's a guaranteed weapon drop out any weapons you want too.
Well, yeah,
And
but Obelisk did that too.
yeah,
But Obelisk had three,
I thought it was like three or
three
four.
different, three different types of events, and then the boss fight. That's all
Yeah,
it was, and it felt like a watered down Menagerie that you grind out, and it just stopped being interesting. However, speaking of involving the seasons, and I'm gonna kind of roll into talking about this season if that's all right with you.
yeah, I think we should focus on Guardians first. The chaotic Guardian.
I was gonna lead into I don't know, up to you.
I guess we can go with Guardians because that's where the season got, I guess, worse for some people.
Guardian games is a fun concept.
It is fun, but the execution.
Having the different classes compete against each other. Even I'm not even saying oh hunters were at a disadvantage. No. I if you look at all the evidence and look at all that stuff, Titans were winning for a reason. What wasn't fun about it is and they've talked about this, the bounties. It wasn't even bounties for a new event. It was bounties to replay things we've had in the game from Destiny 1 and of Strikes and Crucible to Black Armory or Gambit. And those game modes are fun, but when you're especially like me and you're like, "Oh, Guardian Games is out. I want to still have a chance to get this gun." Guess who's going to have to grind out all these in a day instead of being able to casually or at least semi-casually play for it and get it over time and then like grind out just the few extra things you need to do at the end of it. I had to grind it all out in 3 days
I didn't even
because
bother doing it, so.
Destiny wasn't well we can we can kind of tie it to this season. I Seraph Towers. Seraph Towers, great idea. However, I wish they were more like the Obelisk, where it was actually match made. Because the enemies are either too much of them. You can't unless you're someone who has certain types of builds, and most casual players don't. You're not going to be able to melt a yellow bar fast enough before it gets on the charge or gets on the platform. I've had multiple times of enemy or it's saying there's an enemy on the platform interrupting in the charge. No one's there. Then right before it goes off, I have one of the bosses or one of the yellow bars teleport on, like just pop up in front of me. Not like a captain teleporting, moving around. It was the Cabal. It happens with the Cabal. It happens with the Fallen. They will just poof right in front of me. And it's where were they? Why are they just here all of a sudden? After about a week of grinding that, and the first week the season came out, I immediately realized this is not fun. I'm not going to keep doing this and stop playing Destiny. And I have a feeling that's a lot of where a lot of people stop playing Destiny because it just stopped being fun. It was the focus on the grind was too a little too heavy. And it was a difficult grind that a lot of people weren't enjoying.
So to connect with that, with Beaver is another problem that the Seraph Towers have. Like when I started playing Destiny again halfway through the season, I saw the bug. I was like, "Cool, what's this event?" I did the towers. Literally halfway through the towers, I either get beavered, or get beavered, or there's no one there to help me do the towers. At most, I get like 3 players, and we at least get to like 50-60%. But I think Beaver plays a role in this, as I haven't gotten Beavered ever until this season, and including D1, D2 experience, I gotten Beaver more than those two combined, I would
Yeah.
say.
Well, and I have a internet problem because issues with connections and yada yada. I've had beaver issues before back in Season Undying, Season of the Dawn, but they were very clearly like, oh, my internet's having issues. Now it's, I sit, great example, Fellwinter's Lie. That quest came out. I was getting ready to grind it out. I spent 40 minutes sitting talking to people in Discord, and finally I get 4 players that show up around the same time. They go to activate the tower. As soon as the Seraph Tower event's activated, I get beavered. Waited there for 40 minutes to find one group to do the public event with, and I instantly get beavered. And it wasn't my internet because I was still having great chats in Discord. Fastest way to check is I pull up my web browser, then see if I can access a website. Was able to access the websites fine. So I thought, great. And I mean, go look at Team Ash. How many times he's in the middle of doing anything, whether it's Rumble trials or just an online event in PvE. He gets beavered all the time. It's the amount of times we've been playing with, like, in the middle of doing one of the Seraph Towers.
Iron Banner also.
Oh god, I forgot all about that. The amount of Iron Banners that players that would DC. God.
Yeah, so
It's just it's been so rampant.
Cogler and I were playing Iron Banner, and it's either me or him that would get beavered, and it got really bad one time, especially last week when Fellwinter's Lie quest was out for towers. I couldn't even play a match or anything. Like, I was helping out with a charity stream with the streamer, just having some fun time to raise some money, and literally every time we queue up for a PvP like control match, I get beavered. And I was like, my Wi-Fi can't be this shitty. Literally, I went checked my Discord ping, 20 ping, and
Yeah.
I restarted my router. I restarted Destiny. Still the same thing. Get kicked out. Can't play. Can't rejoin. And the one time I did rejoin, it just lets me run around, see where the enemies are, but can't do any damage to them. So basically, I was just a spectator in that match, and then I just gave up, stopped playing Destiny for the weekend, just went play something else.
I've seen some very interesting things in Crucible. Like I have a few clips of me mag dumping an SMG into a guy, and then 9 seconds go by, and then it reads me getting the kill. 9 seconds. That's insane. I have another one where I have a guy melee me from across the map. Not like he's a hacker. It was a clear connection issue. Like, the connection when you play Crucible is insane. Like, it is such bad desync. I think. I don't know. I'm not great with connection or understand how that works, so I could be completely wrong.
I can
But
agree with that, but especially this week when I was playing some regular control ads. I'm more of a PvP guy. I play a lot of PvP. There are just some players that would just I see our whole team like fire at him, even me firing at him. Doesn't die, and then like a couple seconds later, he kills one of us. Then he dies, which makes no sense when we're all shooting at him. I don't know if he's hacking or he just has shitty Wi-Fi or just the shitty servers. It's one of them, but I don't know. That's needing to fix. It's just something with this season that the server is just really bad.
It's this season in general. I got my name is Bife tweeted out either this morning or yesterday. And he tweeted out about how from a PvE standpoint, this season sucks because it's uninteresting. From a PvP standpoint, it sucks even more because of the rampant hackers and how unrewarding Trials is. But from a lore standpoint, they're doing pretty good. Like everyone keeps up with the lore. I even out, like I'm the only reason I even look at anything Destiny related is to see people making fun of how bad Trials is, or to talk about lore, because that's the only things that interest me. I'm not even interested enough to touch the game, but I'll still watch videos on it. I'll still watch videos and updates about how the darkness is still coming to Titan more and more. Stuff like that. But it just blows my mind that this season was so hyped up. Hyped up because it's Rasputin, it's Trials is back. Um we haven't even talked about the Almighty. We the one let's see. The only time that we get anything close to talking about it in a way is the first time you do one of the public or the one of the clearing outs of the bunker each destination. That's it. That's the we have not heard anything talked about since. At least I haven't.
And to talk about trials, to connect with that, I like trials in D1. So when I heard that it was coming back to this season, I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna play trials. No, I just gave up at trials. I'm
I
done.
am not. I never played Trials. Actually, that's not true. I think I played it once in D1, if I remember correctly. But ever since then, I've never played Trials. Uh, when Trials was announced, I thought now's my time to actually get into PvP. Even if it's going to be a sweatier PvP setting, I'll have people to work with. I'll have people I can depend on. People that I can impress with me doing something crazy, or they can carry me because I'm way worse. But that never happened because I instantly realized that wow, Trials isn't fun for anyone. It's rampant with hackers. I mean, just look up on YouTube. Let's see. Trying to think of what.
iFallsBall had a really funny hacker clip. If you guys
Yeah,
want to
you
check him
can
out,
find videos about compilations of people running into hackers everywhere. It's insane. There are like it's absolutely crazy. And then with the beaver issues, with the hackers, with the fact that now the only people are playing are hackers or people getting carried. There's very few players that are actually teams of 3 that are good players that are actually going to uh put up a good challenge. It just makes it, especially for me. I'm someone who already hates PvP as it is because Destiny PvP annoys the ever living hell out of me. It it just makes it so like okay, I will never touch trials. That's not happening.
my main two problems with I would say competitive, not normal PvP because it has normal PvP. It's just Beaver, but with competitive, like trials and was it survival?
Yeah.
Yeah, survival. Um, the main two problems I have is Beaver. When you get Beaver, you can't even rejoin back. It just says,
Which
"Whoops, did you leave the match? You have like a what? You lose Valor or what? I don't remember, but you get if
glory.
you use Glory. Okay,
Yeah.
you use Glory, and then it doesn't let you rejoin your friends or your teammates that are playing that match. So it's either a guaranteed win for the other team, even if they're not hacking. And
Yeah. Well,
and
there's
then if you keep doing it, you're gonna get a cooldown. Like one of the streamers I watch, he got a 40-minute cooldown because he kept getting beaver from his competitive match, and I was like, "The Bungie should at least let you join back."
from what if I remember correctly, they're actually working on something to they're about to implement like where you can join matches in progress back. But it doesn't solve the problem of
Hackers.
depending on how depending on how fast that takes you. Sometimes it could take 10 seconds to load you back in. Could take 4 minutes. Loading times are inconsistent. And in that there are ample amount of clips of people getting owned, and then the game turning around just because one guy got beavered. One guy hit beaver or got the fucking beaver error, and it turned around to uh the entire team loses now. It's a bad experience for everyone. The state of Destiny 2 right now is, from a content standpoint, bad. Very.
It's like Destiny's pay to win kind of at a standpoint where hackers can just make money off
Yeah.
her, and that goes with recoveries. So apparently, I didn't know like until 2 seasons ago that recoveries and carries were a thing that you pay people money to get you stuff, and
Yep.
the only two good things I can see in this is that you like if you're a player and you're really good, but you don't have enough time to do that, and you want to pay a little bit of money for them to finish the quest. I'm fine with that. But when the guy that does the recoveries for you and stuff hacks, makes the game unfun, it's gonna kill the player base because literally it's
No one
becoming
else
the
wants
pay to win,
touch it.
and that goes with mountaintop and weapon nerfs. I guess we can talk about weapon nerfs and bugs.
Okay.
So hand cannons got a nerf. So which way hand cannons
Did they really?
I thought they
don't
got a nerf on
I
the
don't
range.
I hand voice cracks. I never really had a problem with hand cannons. Shotguns are annoying, but they're annoying because even like when I've had ranged shotguns, I don't even break people's shields, but I'll get what feels like sniped by some shotguns. Where it's an inconsistency specifically with me that is likely due to my skill. I don't use shotguns in PvP that often, so when I try to use them, I normally get smacked on. However, mountaintop, from a casual, I'm a casual. I'm a Destiny casual 1000%. From that standpoint, mountaintop makes it so I never want to touch PvP at all. I do not want to touch it because mountaintop is such an annoying weapon to play against. And the idea of just get it and use it yourself, I don't like that idea. I don't feel like I should have to spend hour 72 3 days straight, 4 days, 5 days, even a week maybe, depending on how much it's going to take me to grind out to use a weapon that is going to make other people not want to play. Cuz I know how that feels. Playing against mountaintop is so unfun because of how ridiculous it is. It's not that it's a grenade launcher. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is no matter it's a gun that is designed that no how many times you nerf it, you either completely destroy it to where there's no reason for anyone to use it, or there's no change because it is inherently designed to be ridiculously powerful, and it ruins I'm going to say the best way to say it is it ruins the flow. It ruins the flow of why I would hop on and play some Crucible. When I wanted to unlock Redrick's broadsword and grind it out Crucible for 2 weeks straight, and my god, did I hate it. It was awful. I I I think I told you about this. For people watching, I have a bit of an anger issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten a lot better. It's now at this point I have a loud mouth, and that's pretty much it. Like I used to hit stuff though, and I would slam on my desk.
I would too. I have stopped
I
punching my
my
desk.
wrist is beyond messed right now. Like it's not broken, it's not sprained or anything, but it when for 17 years of your life your wrist doesn't do something, then one day you just hit a wall or desk a little too hard and you go, "Oh, that's never done that before." My wrist now cracks pretty often because of how hard I would hit my desk. I had to get a wrist brace. Like that's how bad I hurt myself. It was a bad experience. And not because I I'm under no impression that I'm good at PvP, but I shouldn't have matches where the spawns are awful. Dead Cliff, I think it's called. I think that's map.
Mhm.
Worst map, hands down. Worst map. It is ridiculously easy to spawn trap one side of the map. And that is how so many people play it. People will play the long range game and they will sit in the back or sit on one side to where one team gets to push from two positions. And I have had so many matches where I will spawn in front of the guy that just killed me. And he just killed me 20 feet away from where I was at because it is so easy to spawn trap on the map. It's I don't know what it is with I personally feel that Destiny maps are too small. For how fast you can get around a map, it is way too small.
Is it warlock skating? I don't know what it's called, but
Uh,
I
it's not
I
even that. It's
I
not
do
just
that.
that, but like anyone can get from one spawn to the next spawn by the time you can respawn. If someone kills you on one side of the map, a third of the maps they can get to the opposite side spawn where you're likely going to spawn before you or right as you're about to spawn in. So then you are extremely vulnerable.
What's the biggest map in Destiny right now? I don't remember.
Um I can't think of the name.
Is the
The two I would say it's one of the ones on Earth.
is that one with the launchers, like the Cabal launchers or whatever?
Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
I think that one's pretty
That
decent.
one's pretty decently
Yeah,
sized. The one on Titan's pretty okay sized. The one in the Dreaming City.
that
I
one.
I like that
Yeah,
map.
that one is
That
good.
one's a map. Even though I've had problems with spawn trapping on it, it's much less. Like it's extremely, at least in my case, it was extremely happening less. That's a map I enjoy. But yeah, grinding out Redrick's Broadsword, getting my 5 Valor rank upgrades, and yes, you can make fun of me for taking like 2 weeks to do it. Although I think I was like doing a mixture
Well,
of that and getting Luna's Howl at the same time.
I just got mine last week, and I haven't touched the gun since.
Yeah, I really only cared because I liked its design, because Destiny 1 designs for pulse rifles will be hands down god designs. Can't change my mind on that. But it moving back to Mountaintop, it's just inherently a weapon designed to be powerful, which wouldn't be bad if it wasn't so easy to use consistently. It is has no drop. It is literally goes in a straight line.
It's kind of like a point and click adventure.
Its blast radius is a little
Uh,
ridiculous.
and
I've
it has
never
sticky
seen.
nades. It has sticky nades, so you can plant it literally anywhere.
I didn't know that.
I got it,
That,
so
that explains a lot.
I got it. I played for one game, and Jesus Christ, it's godly. And then I feel bad for people who don't have it. I don't really use it anymore. I think it's just I don't want to sound that guy that says it's like a bitch weapon, but literally all you do is point and click and let the guy that you're trying to kill run over it and they instantly die. That's about
It's
it.
the it literally made me feel so nasty playing Crucible when I was playing against like 3+ players every time that were using Mountaintop. And if they didn't somehow kill you, with Mountaintop's first shot, they would even if you would see it even happen when they one shot you, they would instantly swap weapons and fire about 2 to 3 hand cannon shots. Just like so in those chances when you didn't die, but your shield was gone and you're already half health, you were dead. You couldn't fight. It was not fun in the slightest. It's one of the main reasons why I don't play Destiny Crucible.
My question
Destiny 1
is,
Crucible was
it's decent.
annoying. It was annoying, but it didn't make me hate Destiny Crucible. Always said I hated it, but I always enjoyed it. I love PvP. But man, do I hate Destiny 2's Crucible. It is so unfun.
My question is, why did they nerf Luna's Howl, Not Forgotten, basically any pinnacle weapon for Crucible, but not Mountaintop? Like, they nerfed Recluse because of how broken it was, but like,
Because like I said,
no, not Mountaintop.
Mountaintop inherently is a weapon designed to be too powerful.
And then this goes with my other problem. Pinnacle weapons of each season. Sometimes they're not even that good, and they're worth the grind. Like,
I have
bow.
not gone for a pinnacle weapon since Randy's throwing knife. And one of the main reasons I went for Randy's throwing knife was I wanted the Undying seal. That's it. The pinnacle weapons just seem They don't have that great of designs anymore. I think my favorite design for I think it was this season was the sidearm. Was that this season or was that
The
the
buzzer?
Yeah.
I think
That
it
might
was
have been
last season.
Season of the Dawn.
It was
Yeah.
last season.
I thought like that was a nice design. Other than that though, it's just reskins. That's all.
Recluse was a reskin. If you actually pay attention to the weapons, there's the same SMG on one of the destinations.
Yeah, I found that out, but it was a reskin of reskins aren't that awful. But for like the linear fusion rifle from last season for the Crucible, it's a reskin of a linear fusion rifle you find all the time.
The Crooked Fang.
You find the Crooked Fang all the time. With Recluse's reskin, I didn't know the original weapon existed until after I got Recluse. Till months after I got Recluse. And then I found out that it's actually a reskin. And I thought, oh, huh, I didn't even know that. Because you don't come across that SMG as often. But most of them are reskins of weapons you come across all the time. Python is a reskin of Parcel of Stardust. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. I just given up on getting all the pinnacle weapons. I think I got all the pinnacle weapons from the first season of the season pass, but then every other weapon I just gave up. Like, I don't have Edgewise, I don't have Hush. I want to get Hush. Like, I like using bows, but literally the progress on that is just kind of pointless. Because bows are just not that good in Gambit when you're going against invaders constantly, and it sucks. And then
overall, like the story.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They like Edgewise. Strikes is boring. There's nothing new to do in Strikes. No new strikes really. Just all the same rotation for a while now.
Season of Undying and Shadowkeep added one strike. And that one strike is a time-consuming strike that is boring.
Is that the one with the elevator?
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
It's not an awful strike, but for it being the only one, it's pretty underwhelming.
I thought it was pretty cool when it first came out, but then constantly doing it over and over, it got pretty.
Yeah. It's the last few seasons just felt pretty underwhelming. I mean, if you're looking last season, we got Gambit, we've got the Black Armory, we got Menagerie. Those are all interesting, and there was something they added that was permanent. We still have Menagerie. Menagerie is still pretty fun. Black Armory with the way it rotates every day is pretty. It's not bad.
It still
Uh,
has some of the good as weapon archetypes, like the hand cannon. You can still try to
yeah,
get the curator, which is kill clip and rampage, and I was a dumbass to delete it because I got thirsty for that shader. And blast furnace. It was
Blast
really. It
Furnace,
used to be really good, but with the nerf on pulse rifles now, it's still decent, but not as what it used to be.
it and then Gambit was a whole new or PvE PvP mixed game mode that I still enjoy.
It's like
I
Halo's 5 PvE PvP game
Warzone
mode.
Fire or Warzone, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I enjoyed that. It was fun. And I still enjoy Gambit. I enjoy it less because now the PvP builds really spill into it.
Thousand Voices when it first came out,
Oh
the
god.
Sleeper Simulant, Queen Breaker.
It's not even that. It's more like trying to think of what build was it? I don't know. It was a build that you couldn't really counter. Now, granted, I'm brain dead, so I can't counter it because I'm trash, but no one on my team could counter it either. I I feel like Gambit needs changes. I feel like either the trying to think of how to say this right. The invader either doesn't get the overshield, or the names of people pop up when they have a side, like when they can see them. So then it's like just a confirmation that yes, you're seeing someone. But seeing them through walls and having an overshield and having a lot more access to heavy ammo and stuff like that, it makes it extremely one-sided, which obviously isn't the full case because think of all the times that invaders get instantly destroyed. But when paired against certain types of people that just sit there and wait to invade and things like that, it just completely ruins it.
My problem with that is that when you only have like 3 players and other guys invade, they would just camp your spawn when you respawn. So literally, you can't even do anything.
The amount of times that you'll and I'm betting that is the beaver issue as well. The amount of times during guarding games that I would load into 3v4s, 2v4s, there was a time that I was the only person on my team. A 1v4. And I thought, really? What in the hell happened? It it just wasn't, and then I don't know if other people do this. I'm assuming they do. When I'm playing against a team that has a clear disadvantage because of player count, I don't like to go all out. I don't like to invade them. And
I tend to not invade. Like when I usually play with some of my streamer friends, we tend to feel bad. We don't invade usually.
it's
We
like
just
see,
play on with the game.
it's
But
like Siege going against like a 2v5. If you are try harding against a 2v5, you're are you sure you shouldn't just being competitive and playing ranked or playing for Destiny, playing competitive or trials? Like what is the need to go that hard against someone who's already at a huge disadvantage?
and then
Are good.
and then just Beaver overall, none of the game modes let you join back.
Yeah, it's
It's stupid.
Beaver is just reminding you that hey, I'm still gonna fuck you over even when you finally think you're doing good.
Even with the best Wi-Fi, it's still so much screw.
Yeah. Armor 2.0.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
what was it? Shadowkeep that came out.
Yeah, Shadowkeep.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. My only complaint with it is that all the armor you gain from the last couple seasons before Shadowkeep came out, are just utterly useless now.
Yep.
Since basically you can just add any armor mods you want on it, and the armor you have, we can talk about vault space in a bit, but literally in my vault I have all the like gambit, the old gambit gear you get, the old crucible gear, any of the old gear that has like the presetted armor mods on. They're just useless now. They don't, even with the hard work, they just feel like they don't accomplish anything anymore.
Yeah, I get exactly what you mean. And it's getting to that point where I'm running out of space that I don't want to get rid of it because I'm like, it reminds me of good times still back in or the original Destiny 2 launch and stuff, but there's no point. There's no point in keeping it. Uh the Armor 2.0, I agree with that's the downside of it, but it's definitely probably one of the best things they've implemented. And I'm saying that because it feels like they completely thought out what they were working with. Where there's still a reason to grind out armor because you want to still grind out for the best armor or the best roll of that armor of getting
The
you want
stats.
a grenade build or a grenade thrower build where you get your grenades back every 20 seconds. There you go. Focus on getting discipline, I think it is.
I think
On
it's discipline.
discipline armors or discipline focused armors. And then work on adding certain perks to where they made it where grinding is still important, but you can also customize better to where it takes a layer of the grind out, so but it's still pretty grindy. It makes the grind less, but not where it's making it to where it's unfun. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, and each season, when you have the artifact, you can add more like mods to it, like special mods for that season. And I forgot to mention this, but this is kind of the problem with weapon buffs, like especially the auto rifle buff this season, hard light. We all love
Oh,
it, don't you?
Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo before the before the buff was pretty an all right PvP auto rifle, I think. But man, it melts. And I don't use it, but the amount of times, and that's part of the problem of why I get my ass handed to me. But it just like you'll get melted
Even
playing
with
against,
even with the hard light nerf, it still feels, it melts.
and people still use it
Yep,
because it has. I'm not gonna say hard light is overpowered because it's not,
it's not, but
but it definitely still has its advantages. And because the auto rifle burf, I cannot talk today. The auto rifle buff, it's still it's still good because not because of it specifically, but auto rifles in general.
Zeros, hard light, and then the armory, AR, and then I think some people
Yeah.
are using the moon one too, or the gambit one.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about Breakneck's probably gonna make a
What's
comeback then.
what's gnawing hunger?
Nine Hunters
I thought that was the gambit one.
it's the drop. Yeah, it's the drops.
Yeah.
Breaknet was like the first pinnacle.
Yeah, like breakneck, I was fine with. It didn't require a lot of kills or anything. It was
I
just
actually
playing
had
the
fun
game.
grinding for it. It wasn't overly aggressive of a grind, but it wasn't meek either. It wasn't too underwhelming. It had a pretty healthy balance. Now I feel like the grinds are getting too ridiculous and the rewards aren't enough for it.
Like the
Granted,
bow. The bow
yeah.
is not even that good. I only like it because I want to fill up my collection. But that's about it.
I didn't care. I did not care for the armor of Iron Banner this season. I just did it to do it, and I regret it. I don't care for it. The armor, didn't care for any of the weapons really. I've never cared. The iron I don't know if it's just me that thinks this, but Destiny 2's weapon design ate out of the 10 weapons you'll pick up have terrible weapon design. Suro's weapons are too smooth, and I do not like it. Now that might just be a personal thing, and it probably is, but weapon design of D1 felt bulky when it needed to be, small when it fit for what the weapon was. Since Destiny 2's release, hasn't really had that same feeling.
I think I kind of get what you mean, but my main problem is like Zero's weapons. Like each weapon has like their like brand, I guess you can say,
Yeah.
and like some of the brands, I'm just gonna call them brands, but like
That's what they are.
they're just shitty. If you know, like some of them are just jack shit. Like I like it's like Nike and Adidas. It's like preference, I guess, but like when there's like an absolute brand that no one likes, you just
Well,
don't use it. I'm kind of like that. Like I use that gun, and it just gets
I'll be
destroyed by every
admit,
other weapon.
this is probably one of the main reasons why I suck at Crucible. Although I have a spare rations that has a decent roll that I use and I still get my ass handed to me. But I enjoy using weapons more, less off the rolls you can get off them and more by their weapon design and how they feel. I like Season of the Worthies SMG.
Hmm.
However, you can't really get that good of rolls on it.
I like Rose from what Menagerie. Yeah,
Yeah.
that gun feels nice, but since it gets outgunned by Hardlight now, it's kind of utterly useless.
Yeah.
And especially with the hand cannon range nerf, it
The
does
only
not help.
the only reason I would ever go for any trials weapons is I like the design of the auto rifle. I like the design of the sniper rifle. That's it. That is genuinely the only reason. I go for weapons and go for armor based off how they look, not stats. It's the same reason why I will sooner keep my game running on ultra graphics before I lower my graphics to get an advantage over another player. So I can see him when he thinks he's like crawling through grass in other games. I will sooner make sure my game is beautiful because I'm not going to sacrifice making my game look good or to have an advantage over another player. I'd rather enjoy what I'm looking at because that's and then giving myself an advantage like that. When it comes to Destiny though, that doesn't really relate, but that's just kind of how I feel about it.
And since we're talking about weapons, apparently some like the more like I guess popular YouTuber Destiny YouTubers, they're talking about infusion caps, which is where like a season will have a infusion cap for that certain weapon, and you can't infuse past that, which is
I'm
kind of
pretty sure that's based off how long the weapon has been in service.
yeah. So I think it was Cactus or wasn't yeah
Red Cactus,
yeah
yeah.
it was on about where weapons will have like a 1 year lifespan, and
Weapon
then
retiring, yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I
It's
like that or not.
the,
It's
I have mixed feelings on that because for one, I like it because of the fact that okay, well, these weapons that are ridiculously powerful now aren't going to be here always. Think about how long Mountaintop has been in service. Recluse, how long it was in service. They were in the game for quite a while. They were, let's see, they were released after Forsaken, right?
yeah
And they pretty
yeah.
much dominated for an entire year at least. Mountaintop's still going on.
I think Mountaintop has been out since Forsaken. I'm not sure. Don't count me on.
I'm pretty sure.
I think Reckless was too, but it's kind of like Armor 2.0, where I guess you can call it Weapon 2.0 too if you want. It's kind of
It's
where like
the
yeah, it's kind of the same like in the way I see it, it's kind of like the hard earned weapons you got from Crucible and stuff, or like strikes, or just not usable anymore. You're just gonna throw it out due to the power differences and end game content.
Yeah, it was released in season 5. So it's been here for a while.
Yeah.
Weapon retiring is a good thing. However, it really will make some people probably I don't think a lot of people feel this, but it definitely makes some people feel like their grind was for nothing.
Yeah, I would feel that in some of my end game stuff I've gotten so far. Like Luna's.
I've been playing a lot of Escape from Tarkov recently. So, I I've gotten used to the, "Hey, I like this weapon. Oh, look, it's gone." Like I've gotten used to that where I'll be able to move on and be like, "Okay, well this weapon gives similar things that I liked about it. So I'll move on and use this weapon." As long as they can keep a line of weapons that look good, feel good, and have decent rolls. Not saying don't make it overpowered, please. Hate that.
I-
Let's not. As long as they're decently rolled, they look nice, and they feel good to use. If they want to retire weapons and add new weapons in, I feel like that should be perfectly fine. I just hope we don't get a stigma like we did with Destiny 1 when when Forsaken or not Forsaken, when Taken King came out, that all weapons before Taken King couldn't be infused anymore.
I think so. I
I
like
think it was around that time too.
where they just reduced all low gear and armor down to
I
like
think
a base level.
instead of cutting it off all at once, I think doing it to where like, okay, Mountaintop and Recluse are the first ones to get this. And weapons from pretty much any time before season 9 or season 8. Because Undying was season 8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because we're in season 10 right now. So yeah, anything before season 8 gets cut off. Then, about a year after season 8, cut off season 8. After a year after season 9, cut off season 9. A year from now, cut off season 10. I feel as long as they keep weapon flows in as they're pulling weapons out, I think it should be fine.
Yeah. I think that
Will it be?
it
Only time will tell. But
it will also depend on the player base on how, like, if you're like me, I like to hoard my gear.
oh god, yeah, I
So
do too. But that's something that honestly we need to just get over.
yeah.
Like we need to get it over with of just remembering pulling those, keeping those memories, and then trashing the loot that we can't use anymore. If there's
And
anything, I like when they add the collection. Because
yeah.
then you have it marked down, you can now lay it to rest.
My main problem with that is your bullet space, because there's some gear you can't like re-roll or recollect as they just
Yeah,
don't let you.
but are you ever going to use it again?
Uh, Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So it could just be me being
There,
hoarding
there's
everything
there's
in my bullet
certain
space.
weapons and armors. Like I'm not going to trash my summer armor set from last year. I loved that armor set. I fully loved it. So I'm not going to trash it. I'm not going to trash certain weapons that I enjoy using that I might pull out and use in a raid sometime. Or not raid, use in a strike sometime. You don't have to trash everything, but a lot of the things you hoard that you know, like, all right, I'm never going to use that again. It's in my collections. Let's get rid of it. Even if I can't pull it on my collections, it's still there. It's going to hold the same value it did holding in my vault.
Wasn't it in Destiny 1 where you only get 20 bullet space for each
No,
section?
it was 150 each, not 500 total.
I forgot. I remember there was a picture someone said sent on Twitter. It was like only real OG Destiny players remember. It was just 20 volt space. I think that was when the game first came.
That was things in inventory. So your ascendant shards,
Oh, okay.
and that's what that was.
Yeah, thank God they at least increased the inventory space of your stuff.
Yeah, at least vault space in total is 500 now. Yeah. Like, I can tell how many shaders I have dipped in there. Oh.
I might actually rebuy D1 and play on my PS4. Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
It's always tempting.
It is tempting.
There's times before I got my computer. There were times like 2 in the morning, everyone else is off. Why don't I just open up Destiny 1 and go relax on it? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go do that. It was fun.
There's just so much better stuff that I liked
The
on
worlds.
D1.
Yeah, Destiny 1's atmosphere was better. I like me personally, I like post-apocalyptic settings. And putting us in the ruins of cities on different planets is a good way to give that feeling. I enjoyed going through Mars. I enjoyed going through Venus and going through the library. I enjoyed that. No Mars, even D2 Mars, doesn't really have that. Because you can go inside 2 areas, and I like those 2 areas, but that's it. Everywhere else is like natural caves. It just
Yeah. At
I don't know. I
least
like the storytelling based off of that. Think of the moon and you find dead bodies of astronauts. That's storytelling of like, okay, well these guys were clearly attacked because their face shields are destroyed. You don't need someone to tell you that. This area was clearly meant to do this. This area was clearly for this purpose. You don't have that with natural landscapes. Natural landscapes look beautiful at times. Destiny doesn't really have many of those naturally beautiful areas. That's something I've been holding on to for like years.
like D1 had it didn't have a lot of destinations, but with that limited
I think
destinations,
it did.
well, not compared to D2, but with D1,
Think of D2 before any DLCs and D1 before any 2 DLCs. I think D2 just had one more location.
what I meant like that is that D1 had more like a emphasis on what to do on each planet, if you know what I mean. That you go back and visit. But with D2, there's just some planets that I haven't even touched in a long time. Like what, the Dreaming City. I haven't been there since what, Forsaken?
I do Dreaming Cities
Because there
semi often.
just isn't much stuff to do on that like location. Well, except the Truth Quest, but that's what to be about it. I just don't really visit there anymore.
Yeah, I feel that.
Okay, so it's not.
Next season.
This podcast is like or an hour and something now, so I guess we can go on to what we want for next season,
Yeah, we'll talk about the next season, then we'll
and then how the player base overall is dying.
next season. I want interesting content.
Yes.
I want not.
Mm.
I want interesting content where it's fun to play, even if it's a menagerie type style, even if it's adding 6 more strikes, adding something that will bring actual content. Don't do another public event like that, where it's pretty difficult to do on your own, and even difficult to do with 3 people. It's some good story points. Maybe do something like you got to pick again, like how you had to pick between the Drifter or the Vanguard, something like that. Doing certain things like that would be more entertaining. Don't space out content to be every wipe unless you're doing something that is going to last for the rest of the game's life. Think of Shattered Throne. Shattered Throne shows up every 3 weeks.
I think I haven't done Shadows in a while, but that's one of my favorite. What was it called? Not raids, but dungeons. Yeah, I like Shadow. The what is it called again? Oh God, I'm blanking.
Heresy.
Yeah, Pit of Heresy.
I've never done the Pit of Heresy.
It's pretty fun,
but
there should be more dungeons. If they can
yeah.
at least add a dungeon next season, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, add content that'll last us longer than the season, or maybe not long. I get if you need to cut it off at the season.
Well, they should do something like Black Armory, because Black Armory has been here since it ever came out.
That's from what I heard. Year 3 is supposed to hold the same things, or year 4 is supposed to hold the same things that like Black Armory and stuff. Where just because you weren't there for that season doesn't mean you won't get to experience when you show up 2 seasons later.
It kind of makes sense with their way of the season pass, as they want people to buy so they can get some more access to the game. But I just feel like those who don't have the money are kind of left out.
Oh yes.
And
I don't know. It seemed the obelisk, and it's very easily repeatable. And in Bungie's defense, it's a hard way to balance between challenging and casual. Because if you think of season 8 and season 9, the obelisk and the Vex invasions or Vex offensive, those were fun, but they took 15 minutes at best.
Sometimes
they were
took
repetitive,
longer.
extremely.
Yeah, they were repetitive. There's no variety in them.
It's if you're gonna throw it away by the end of the season, then I can't really blame you for doing something that's gonna be repetitive. You don't have to put as much work into it if you're gonna throw it out in 3 months, 2 months. But it's a struggle for others to enjoy it then. So that's why I'm ready for them to stop throwing away things at the end of the season and put enough work into it that it's gonna actually last or be entertaining for a while. Monopoly has enough things, like I said earlier, it has enough things in it that it's still entertaining, and we've had it for a year now, almost.
Well, what I want for PvP is, well, actually for the whole game, is fix your servers, fix Beaver, and then, as Bungie have said, they are trying to find a way to fix the hackers. We will never have a way to get rid of all hackers, but at least a way to reduce that numbers down to make PvP at least more enjoyable for those who don't play as much.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Because even like me, I'm a PvP guy. Trials is just no fun. Even with the hackers, it's just nothing is fun when you constantly get spawn killed and stuff, instantly mapped. And yes, there are better players. I'm not saying that I'm a good player, but just something to make it fair.
You can tell when something happens, you're like, okay, that's a little suspicious. And then it happens 3 times over, and you go, okay, I see how this is.
I don't know. I know Siege does it where it's I think a IP ban. I know people can counter with a VPN, but it still bans the people that are getting boosted too. I think they should do at least that too.
Oh yeah,
ban people that are getting
especially
boosted.
with Trials isn't matchmaking. The people that are playing with that guy know he's hacking.
Yeah, and if you don't know, I get, because sometimes, but if you're like constantly getting wins after wins and then seeing him pulling off some of the craziest kills, he's either hacking or just too good at the game. Might as well sign him up for esports. But yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, that's something that encourages players like me that want to get into PvE or PvP, but are PvE players. I want to get into PvP, but with how I'm gonna say toxic, not in the typical toxic definition though, but toxic in the way of you have 3 types of builds. you have mountaintop, or you have one of the auto rifle builds, especially the energy rifle from Armory or Black Armory. Like those builds make it to where I don't want to touch it because for me running a spare rations and what's the shotgun called?
Which one? The season?
No.
Mind
The
benders?
shot the
Mind benders?
Gambit Prime shotgun.
Last man standing.
Last man standing, thank you. Or if I'm running spare rations and last man standing, there's no competition, and I don't have weapons that I can counter those builds with. Or else then I get if I can counter that guy once, twice, maybe, sure, but now I'm at a disadvantage fighting this player with this build. Because I shouldn't have to create builds that can specifically counter one type of player, but then leave me vulnerable to every other player on that team. I equally shouldn't have to create those same builds become just as annoying to play against as that. Cool, I got 3 kills, but with something that's so easy, everyone's using it because it's just that powerful. Like, it's just not fun.
So before we bring this to an end, I just think the player base is overall dying. You guys can have your own opinion on this, but with all the problems this season and hackers, I just think people are just done with Destiny. And there's a couple group of people. If you haven't seen MTash video, I'll link it in the below. But he talked about how there are like 3 groups of players: the players who like just trash on Destiny. There are the players who play the game, love it, but are just getting done with it. And then there's just the players who are optimistic and hope for the best. And I'm the guy that is between just kind of done with Destiny, but also devoted so many hours into it, and I want to still keep playing, but I don't know where it will take us.
I'm in a very similar boat of I love Destiny. Even though I used to trash on it all the time, I really truly do love it because it became fun. It's a fun game. It's got great story. It's got at least a pretty expansive lore that's entertaining. But the content is becoming so dry that the game just isn't fun to play anymore. I have more fun playing a game where I can lose stuff for 6 hours of the day than I do playing Destiny.
Yeah, at this point, if you ask me, there are so much better. There's many other games I could be playing right now that I would
Well,
far enjoy.
part of it is the people to play with too.
Yeah.
We have people to play Destiny 2 with, but no one they don't want to play it. You don't want to play it. So then when you go try to get these people to play it, either they don't want to play it and you don't blame them, or you play it with them, but it's not fun because no one wants to. So then you're getting a very nuanced, boring playstyle.
Yeah, I think is that what we all had to say for today?
I mean, that's the best way I can end this,
Yeah,
or at least I'll end my side of this,
yeah.
is I want Destiny to thrive. I want Destiny to get out of this this bad issue that they're having right now. I want them to succeed. I want Bungie to find success in this game. I really hope they can change the direction of it. I think they can. I feel like Bungie is definitely capable of doing it. But I'm not, based off of previous years, I'm not going to keep my hopes up. I will wish them luck. I will encourage people to have the same outlook of hoping, but there's a very high chance that depending on how this season plays, I may or may not drop Destiny before the next major expansion.
So I'm gonna end where I might do the same thing as Clockwork, or this season where I just play halfway through towards the end, and that's all I have to say. I hope Destiny. I am grateful that what's Bungie doing, but I just hope they do better with what, like, just fix all the problems they have. And
Yeah.
so I guess thanks for watching, and not watching, listening to this podcast. If you guys like it, just we're gonna make another one. I think this will be a weekly podcast, as I don't want to milk it down,
Yeah.
water it
Especially with
down.
the summer opening up, gives us
Yep.
ample opportunities.
We don't. I don't know if it's gonna be like an hour and 30 minutes long like this one. We just had a lot of stuff to talk about this. But
Yeah, we'll probably be organized.
yeah, but if you guys want to join the podcast, feel free to message me. I'll just ask you questions and stuff. Make sure you're
Don't
not.
forget to join the Discord.
Yeah, join Discord. I'll link everything in below. And yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for everything, and
Have a
hope you
wonderful
enjoy.
night.